I'm not sure what's being sought after there. I mean, yeah, at a base level, I mean, a key part of Unity 3.0 is that we're doing a major upgrade to the version of Mono that we have inside of Unity. This is to, get more in line with the .NET usage that's out there in the wild, to get some native, just built-in performance and stability improvements that have been added into Mono over the past months to years. So at a core level, yeah, the script system is being updated because we're taking the whole thing and bringing it a year or two forward with the 3.0 launch. Then you go beyond that and things like the debugging capabilities that we're adding in. That's a huge step forward for people to get away from debug log statements and the like. And then within the editor, trying to put in the capabilities to compiler emulation, so that if you're going to make a game that's going out to the browser, features that aren't supported in the browser should kind of let you know they're not supported while you're in the editor, so you don't have that mysterious "it worked in Unity and it fails in the browser, why?" And then we get these long and winding threads on the forums where people are confused about something that is fairly simple and the tool should notify you about ahead of time. So we're looking at it in all those stages in terms of just kind of keeping the core engine itself updated, making it easier to solve and fix your problems. And then at the long term is, expanding the API set in smart and rational ways. We don't want to just add to the language just to do so. So we need to find out what are the compelling reasons and how do we do that in smart ways that don't break content. So yeah, lots of changes coming to it. If that person is on the live chat, they should maybe refine the question if I didn't answer it well enough.
Okay. Game Surgeon asks, what are the plans for Unity GUI? Will Unity continue to improve their homegrown GUI systems throughout Unity 3 and future versions, or will Unity bite the bullet and buy a third-party tool such as Scaleform? If the former, will there be the community desired vector support?
I'm a little confused by the question because I don't know that they're mutually exclusive options. Yes, we have the Unity GUI system today. Yes, we're interested in improving it so that maybe there are built-in visual tools, for example, so that it's more designer or artist friendly, because that's a key selling point of our product, is that as an artist, designer, or beginner, you should be able to step into Unity and be productive right away. And GUI development is probably a bit of a weak spot in that regard, because to do simple UI, you have to start writing code. So yeah, we're going to keep moving Unity GUI forward. That's going to come as improvements to the existing system, as well as some visual tools. The real difficulty there is making those mesh, and so that you can do maybe one, the other, or both. Is that what we're going to do? So that's a constant ongoing effort that we're going to keep doing. Now, a separate part of that is, are we ever going to license something like a Scaleform? Why would we ever license that? The sole reason would be for vector-based file format support. Whether that's a full range of Flash support by lumping in the Flash player, whether that's a third-party tool or solution like Scaleform. Vector graphics, they offer a lot of nice potential. Scalable UIs that look nice at any resolution is obviously a nice benefit. Tapping into the world of Flash-based or vector-based artists that are out there is a huge benefit. Some of the concerns we've had thus far are, what are the real problems that have needed to be solved, and are there other ways that might solve it better? And then combine that with, what does it do to our engine size? And most notably, that's a concern on the web player. What's the cost here if we're going to bloat the player by a half a megabyte, a megabyte, 2 megabytes? What's that impact? And what does that do for sensitivity around web player installs? So yes to the first part of the question. No, they're not mutually exclusive, because yes, we're also looking at how do we go about vector format support in the future, because it's a pretty high demand item with a lot of potential, but we're having to weigh the cost of benefits and make sure that we pick the right solution there. And Scaleform has been part of those discussions, but it's not been the only solution that we've had kind of under discussion.
Okay, good. Another Tom asked if Unity 2.6 will be available when Unity 3 is available, and if so, do you plan to make the price lower for Unity 2.6 Pro?
So, look, we're going to keep the installers available for those that have licenses. You can, those that own Unity 1.6.2, that was the last version in the 1.x family. You can still go download that installer. It's from a fixed URL, and one of the things we need to do is on our website have those referenced easily. But we certainly want to make that available, and anyone that contacts support and says they're a Unity 1 licensee, can they get the installer? We can point them to it. So yes, Unity 2.6 will still be available going forward. I mean, we're not going to pull the Unity 2.x installers in general, but will it be available as an item you can purchase through the store? No. It's already gone from our store as of, well, GDC this last spring. Unity 3 is the way of the future, and that's the only product we're going to sell going forward. We're not going to take on selling older versions in any way. So if you purchase a license, you're going to get the new version. And those that want to keep using 2.6 can feel free to do so. Their licenses won't suddenly shut off. That's part of making them perpetual licenses. They can use it as long as they have a hardware that supports it. So it'll be available in that sense. But in terms of ongoing future licensing, it's not going to be available for purchase at all anymore.
Okay. Sasha asked if there will be sometimes a possibility to buy only single Unity Pro features.
I'm going to start off by saying no. I don't really think that's likely. The difficulty in this is we like to have a simple and clean licensing model. And the nice thing about a simple and clean licensing model is it's very easy for people to understand their costs. They can look at it. Let's go to the simplest one. There's a single version. It comes at one price. Take it or leave it. That's the simplest of licensing models. And so it's very easy to understand. Okay, if you look at the price, that's my cost. I get those features. The downside to simple licensing models is that they put everybody into one box. If you don't fit in that one box, those features at that cost, take it or leave it. And that means you kind of lose some folks. So we've broken from that a little bit, and we offer the two-tier licenses, right? There's Unity and Unity Pro. Unity iPhone and Unity Android come in similar two-tier levels. And so it's a bit more complex, but now we get this kind of staged approach where people can get the basic or the pro feature set on either of those platforms. And then of course, a la carte add-on mobile platforms of interest. If we start going deeper than that, I mean, really look what starts to happen in terms of the licensing model, where people might have certain features enabled on the desktop but not on the web, and it's this combination of checkboxes and whatnot. We think that starts to get a little too messy for our tastes. So that adding individual pro features, I just don't see that happening. And the way we're going to go about it is that we need to constantly ensure that the step up cost to pro is the right value to folks. The problem here that I see is when folks decide they want to come out and rant that how come you're charging me $1,500 simply for real-time shadows, is they're choosing to ignore everything else that you get for that $1,500. I don't spend $20,000 on a new car just for the stereo. I mean, I might be really interested in a car stereo, but there are other items that come around that. And so I think that's the difficulty, is that folks get a little too laser focused on their one feature of need right now and aren't looking at the long-term value that buying that license really will offer. So that's my attempt to assuage any groaning out there that might and probably is happening at me for saying that we're not really going to go that route. We're going to stick with our two license model like we have now because we think it works. We think it provides a fair value offering for you. Look at our tools and what we let you do for this kind of cost. We think it's pretty incredible compared to what folks have had to pay in the past. But our eyes and ears are always open. We're going to constantly keep an eye out for when changes might be needed. So maybe it changes in the future, but that's just not on our roadmap right now.
Okay. Another question from our live chat is: will there be some modeling improvements inside the Unity editor, like CSG?
Modeling improvements in specific of creating art assets and the like. We're trying to walk a fine line here. We're not interested in becoming a modeling or asset creation tool. Now I say that, of course, the back of my mind is, yeah, but remember all that stuff you just said about the terrain editor, right? Tree maker and whatnot. Um, there's things that